setting all messages is set. Well, now it is the second setting is okay. Well, Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela Santa, and welcome to you to my channels, Sheikh Afghan Jelebi, the Misogynist Michaela. Okay, now according to the title, today we are roasting Almas Jacob in the topic of Gen Z intelligence, and here our discussion keyword is ICC T20 World Cups, where the match is between England versus New Zealand. It would be start on tomorrow at the Indian times evening 7 o'clock. Okay, and now let's check the points. Let's check how Alma Jacob said about the Gen Z intelligence. Okay, and here we can notify the points. Okay. Now here my points is the 7 October February 2026 New York Post proved that Gen Z is the first generation officially dubbed dumber than the last. That means Gen Z is the dumbest generations of the uh, 20th century accordance with New York Post. That is the claim of Alma Jacob. Now, when Alma Jacob mentioned that clause, it is can be edited. Okay, now let's check it. We have to remember the points Jared Coney. Okay? Okay. Well, accordance with Alma Jacob, Jared Cohney mentions that Gen Z is the dumbest generation of modern history to score lower on the standardized academic test than the one before it. That is the claim of Alma Jacob. Now, here my point is different is opposite. Okay. Well. And here is the points I would mention it. The significant moments. Well, here we can see the match is between New Zealand versus England. It will start at tomorrow evening 7 o'clock at Indian time, and here written is Bangladesh time. Tomorrow evening half and 7 o'clock. Okay, and here we can say it can be mentions the points. Uh, and here we can see who is the Gen Z, who is the captain of England. That is Gen Z Henry Cook. Henry Cooks. Okay, now let's check it. Now here we have to predict the what would be the match between New Zealand versus England. What is would be the results? First of all, here I have mentioned here New Zealand the match between New Zealand versus Sri Lanka, and here then I would pick up the match between England versus Sri Lanka, And here we can see the base match would be the base of New Zealand. In the base of Sri Lanka, we can predict that what can be the result of the match between New Zealand versus England. First of all, here we can say New Zealand scored 168 in 20 overs, where England scored 146 in 20 overs. Well, now here is the points at the moment. Now let's see. Almas Jacob is not Gen Z. Almas Jacob born in almost 23 years. Almas Jacob born in 1990 or 1988, and I think I can predict that Almas Jacob age is 32 years or 36 years. It is the present calendar is 2026. Almas Jacob born in 1990. Now let's see. Almas Jacob is millionaire. Now here is the points. What is the prediction of Almas Jacob about the match between England versus New Zealand? The, now let's check it. What is the points of Almas Jacob? If England wanna defeat New Zealand by 10 runs or 10 wickets, then Harry Brook should read the Christian Dua. What is the Christian Dua? That is Yeshua Hamesik Heker in Elohim Biladej Yubiladi Kidstamar Sikul Lircham Alino. Without this dua, England would lose to New Zealand. It is the prediction of Almas Jacob. Okay. And now, I would say that what is the meaning of Christian dua provided by Almas Jacob? It is just like Allahumma la ilaha illa anta wa in illa Christamar rahmatika astagis. Here is the points. And at the difference of this Christian dua, Almas Jacob say that without the dua, if Harry Brook would not read the Christian dua, he would definitely lose to New Zealand in the match between New Zealand versus England. It is the prediction of Almas Jacob. And now, let me say that what is my predictions. Okay. And here we can say my prediction is almost clear. Okay. Well, here is me, and let's check about my predictions. Okay. Well, in the perception of separate matches where their opponent is Sri Lanka, New Zealand scored 168 in 20 overs with 13 boundaries and 8 over boundaries, where England scored is 146 runs in 20 overs with 8 boundaries and 3 over boundaries. Now, here the point is, my point is that if England wanna get victory against New Zealand by 10 runs or 10 wickets, Then England should contains 13 boundaries, 39 over boundaries against New Zealand, where New Zealand would contains 13 boundaries, 12 over boundaries. Okay, and here and, and the last point is, without the calculations, England would lose to New Zealand. Now, what is the calculation? I will tell you. Well, each of first 13 overs bound each of first 13 over boundaries should contains length of 1000 kilometers, that means 10 to the power 6 meters. Velocity is okay, velocity would be 3131 meter per seconds. Okay, now let's see. Half of weight of balls is 82 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 3 kilograms. Here kinetic energy would be 803.6 kilojoule. On the other hand, here batting spine height is 67 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 3 meters. Here half of weight of bat is 0.6 kilograms. Applied force should be 88 million newtons. And it is the calculations I have mentioned, the points. Okay. And now, here is my topics, that how can I ensure that my calculation is right. Here is the points. Well, now we change in today Wingeji believes that uh, over boundary can be with the length of 1 kilometer, 10 kilometers, 100 kilometers, and 1000 kilometers. And here boundary length would be 1000 kilometers per one. Okay. Here we can say the over boundary length would be 1000 kilometers, as we can see. And in this moment, the significant point is that what is the velocity of the over boundary where length is 1000 kilometers. We know that 1000 kilometers is 10 to the power 6 meters. Okay. Now let's contains the multiplication between gravity, acceleration, and length of over boundary, where length of over boundary is 1000 kilometers, that means 10 to the power 6 meters. Here gravity acceleration, the value of gravity acceleration is 9.8 meter per second. Here we can say the velocity would be the square root of the bracket of 10 to the power 6 multiplied by 9.8 bracket close. Here the answer would be square root of 988 multiplied by 10 to the power 5. I mean square root of bracket 98 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 bracket close. And here is the moment. The answer would be 3131 meter per second. Okay. And now let's have the points. Somehow here we could see boundary would be somehow the real life boundary can be with the length of 1 kilometer. Hence the velocity would be bracket of 31,000, I apologize, the bracket of 3131 divided by bracket of square root of 1 1 multiple by 10 to the power cube double square root, I mean double bracket close and the bracket close, meter per second. Here I can show you that what would be the results at the moment. Okay, now here is the points. As we can see, it is the significant moments at the points 3131 divided by 1 2, well, 1000, and it is can be square root. Well, and here the answer is 99.1 meter per second. Okay, now then here we can see if the answer is well, here we can see that if we notified 10 to if the over boundary length is 1 kilometers, velocity is 99.1 meter per second. When the velocity is when the over boundary length is 10 kilometers, well, here we can see 300 velocity over boundary length is 10 kilometers, velocity is 313.1 meter per second. Okay, now here we would notify affectation at the points. The half of weight of bat is, I apologize, the half of weight of ball is 82 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 3 kilograms. Hence, when here over boundary length is 1000 kilometers, here we can calculate the kinetic energy of ball would be half of weight of cricket ball multiplied by over boundary length multiplied by gravitational gravity accelerations. Okay, now the question is, how can I calculate the proper gravity accelerations? It is simple at the points. The proper gravity acceleration is the simple at the moments. As we can see, here velocity square is equal to length of over boundary multiplied by gravity acceleration, and we know the kinetic energy equation is half of weight of object multiplied by velocity square. Here object is cricket ball, and here this is, we can say, the equations became half of weight of cricket ball multiplied by length of over boundary multiplied by gravity accelerations. Here the multiplication between gravity accelerations and length of over boundary is 98 multiplied by 10 to the power 5. That is velocity square. Well, half of weight of cricket ball is 82 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 3. Now let's find the multiplication between 82 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 3 enter multiplied by 98 multiplied by 10 to the power 5. Okay. Now here we can say, we can write here bracket of 98 multiplied by 82 bracket close multiplied by 10 to the power bracket of 5 subtract by 3 bracket close, and here the answer is 803 3.6 kilojoule. And it is the significant points. Now, what if over boundary length would be 1 kilometers in lieu of 100 kilometers? Now let's say, well, 98 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 divided by 10 to the power 3 is 98 multiplied by 10 square. That means 9800. That is the multiplication between length of over boundary and the gravity accelerations. And here we can say that is the significant joy at the moments 803. That is the significant joy. And now, how can we calculate kinetic energy? Simple. That would be 803.6 joule if and only if over boundary length would be 1 kilometers. Now, if over boundary length would be 10 kilometers, then what can we can say? Well, that kinetic energy would be 8036 joule. That means 8.36 kilojoule. Okay. Now, let's say the moments that what is the points. It is the Michaela's prediction about the match between England versus New Zealand, and where the purpose is how England can get victory against New Zealand. Well, now let's contest the over boundary applied force. Well, spine height from bat is 67 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 3 meters. And here we can say half of weight of bat is 0.6 kilograms, and hence the applied force is, well, what is the equation of applied force? That is here 0.5 multiplied by, I apologize, the applied over boundary applied force is half of weight of cricket bat multiplied by length of over boundary multiplied by gravity acceleration divided by the spin height of from bats. Here we can see that is 88 million newtons. But now, if the over boundary length would be 1 kilometers, hence the applied force would be 88,000 newtons. On the other hand, if over boundary would be 10 kilometers, take me a break. Now, if the length of over boundary is 10 kilometers, here the applied force would be 880,000 newtons, and that is the points as well. Well, that would be the every over boundary scenarios from the Genji captain Harry Brooke. Because now Genji captain Harry Brooks is now only hope we can see. Well, now let's check out the cricket performance. Okay. Now here we can see the cricket performances. Well, batting position is Josh Butler is the batting position. But now let's check it. What is the performance of Josh Butler in the match between England versus Sri Lanka. Okay, well, let's check it. Josh Butler match. In this match, Josh Butler scored is 7 runs out of 14 balls. Okay, now let's say the points about England moments. Now we are talking about Josh Butler's performance as at the momentums. Well. Now let's say what is the Josh Butler's performance where in the match between Pakistan versus England. Here we can see Josh Butler performance is 2 runs out of 3 balls. Okay. And now when we are talking about the predictions, everything we have to calculate about the Josh Butlers, and in the same times we have to calculate everything about Harry Brock. Okay, now let's check it. Well, now here we can see well, what is Josh Butler performance? Josh Butler performance is 3 runs out of 4 balls. Now let's see what is the performance of Harry Brock. Harry Brock performance is 14 overs out of 9 balls. Well, Josh Butler is millionaire. Okay. Now here we can see what is the reality, and in this momentums at the points. Now here the point is that here in the match between Scotland versus England, let's check what is the performance of Josh Butler. Here Josh Butler scored 3 runs out of 4 balls. Okay, 3-3-7-3. Okay, now let's check it. What is the match of West Indies versus England? Well. Now here we can see West Indies versus England. It is the high profile match. Let's check it. What is the performance of Josh Butler? Josh Butler performance is 21 out of 14. Okay. Well, 9 sum by 7 is 16. 16 sum by 21 is 37. Okay. Now let's check at the points. Well, let's check about the match between England versus Nepal. Let's see what would be the match at the points. What is the performance of Josh Butler? Okay, now let's see. Josh Butler scored 26 out of 17. Okay, now let's check the points. Here we can see these comments. Accordance. Now I have to open the points. Well, accordance with Almas Jacob, if England wanna defeat New Zealand by 10 runs or 10 wickets, hence Josh Butler has to recite the Christian dua. And what is the Christian dua? The Christian dua would be like that. Yeshua Hamesik Hekar in Elohim Bila Det Wobladi Kirstamer Sikul Lircham Alinu. If Josh Butler, accordance with Almas Jacob, if Josh Butler can write, I mean, if Josh Butler can recite the Christian Dua, Yeshua Hamesik Hekar, Lin Elohim, Biladiz, Uv Ladi Kirstamar, Sikul Lircham Alinu, then Josh Butler can score better against New Zealand. It is the points accordance with Alma Jacob. Well, now it is Alma Jacob analysis about England performance against New Zealand. But now let's discuss about my analysis. Well, in six match, uh, Joe's Butler performance is like that. 36, 31, 3, 3, 7, 3. Okay. Now in the first two match, Joe's Butler score is 36 and 31. But in the last four match, Joe's Butler performance batting score is 3, 3, 7, 3. It is just like OTP code what mentioned in Indian YouTube channels as a technical points. But it look like an OTP code in lieu of score of Joe Butler in last four matches. And now let's check it. What is 9 sum by 7? That is 16. What is 26 sum by 21? That is 47. What is 47 sum by 16? That is 57 sum by 6. That is 63. In that points, Josh Butler recent score is 63 in 4 match. Well, in the average score, we can say what is 63 divided by 4? Well, 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. 60 divided by 4 is 15. That means each out of 4 match, Josh Butler score is 15.75 match. And here, my analysis said that Josh Butler is just a depth in the match between England versus New Zealand. In the particularly, we can say Josh Butler now is just a depth for England in the match between England versus New Zealand. And now let's check out the mentions that what is the performance of Harry Crook, the Gen captain of England. Okay. Well, let's check it. And here we can say I contains the proper mentions. Well, okay. Here we contains the proper mentions. The proper mention is clear. Well, now let's check on the points. Nepal versus England. What is the points of Harry Crook? Harry Crook performance is 53 out of 32. Match is Nepal versus England. Okay. Now here West Indies, in the West Indies match, Harry Crook performance is 17 out of 14. Okay. Harry Crook performance is here 4 out of 4. Well, where matches was Scotland versus England. Italy versus England, Harry Crook performance is 14 out of 9 balls. Okay. Now, and now let's check it. What is the significant moments? The jackpot is Harry Cook score is 14 out of 7, where the match is England versus Sri Lanka. And what about England versus Pakistan? The Harry Cook performance is 100 out of 51. Okay. Now let's check it the moments. Here we can see 100, some by 53, some by 17, some by 14, some by 4. Well, 14, 4, well, 17, 53, and here we can see 14. 1 times of 14 we have returns 4, sum by, what is the points? 14. And what is the, in 4 match, what is the performance of Harry Crook? In 4 match, uh, Harry Crook's total score is 202. That means when we can divide 202 by 4, it is 50.5. And here we can say in every match, Harry Crook average performance is 50. Well, and here we can, that is the significant journey at the points. Now, here, what is the prediction difference between me and Almas Jacob? The prediction difference is significance. Well, prediction difference is like that. Here, Almas Jacob prediction would be here if uh, Harry Crook want to score 100 out of 60 against New Zealand bowler, then Harry Crook should recite the Christian Dua. What is the Christian Dua? That is Yeshua Hameshik Haker in Elohim Biladej Ufladi Kirstamar Shikul Lircham Alinu. Without the reciting the following Christian Dua, Harry Crook would score 0 runs as a golden duck against New Zealander bowlers. Okay. But now, here is the points of my analysis. Well, my analysis is New Zealand can score 200 runs, where 50% of the New Zealand team score would be from 13 boundaries and 8 over boundary. Well, now here my point is Harry Crook is the hope for today's to score 33 over boundary in 33 ball. Hence, he can score 198 runs. And that is the significant moments we can think. And now, uh, here the point is that Harry Brook should contains the over boundary length of 4,000 kilometers. Hence, what would be his over boundary velocity? His over boundary velocity would be 6,262 meter per second. Well, what would be kinetic energy? The kinetic energy would be like that. Well, 30 3216 kilojoule, and in these points here we can mention that over boundary applied force from Harry Crook would be the significance 88 multiplied by 4, that is 352 million newtons. It is the significant points. Without the calculations, Harry Crook cannot score 100 runs out of 17 balls. I mean, Harry Crook, without this calculation, Harry Crook cannot score 198 runs out of 33 balls against New Zealand. Here we can see New Zealand score would be 200 in 20 overs as a probable scores. Well, every points is now significant moments, and in the same match, I would mention in okay, in the same match when the result would be public. Here I would mention that how Almas Jacob is wrong to calculate her prediction about the match between England versus New Zealand. Okay. Now here we can see that is the significant journey. Okay. Now let's talk about the significant points. Well, the significant point is too significant as we could assume. Well, now here is Control O. Well, Control O is now, it is just like a significant moment as soon as possible. Well, and now here we can see it is a summary of changes. Well, and now here we can see Control 0. Okay. Accordance with Alma Jacob, here is 6 minute 8 second. In the video notes that while knowledge has increased, understanding has decreased, unlimited access to information leads to zero satisfaction after rejecting God, weakening the ability to think and understanding. Okay. That is the points of Alma Jacob. And now, here the points we can mention that here, well, now let's see the self-claimed smart Alma Jacob. What is the points about the point moments? Now, here we can go to the points. Now, in when we can say the if England would wanna defeat New Zealand by 10 runs or 10 wickets, here accordance with Alma Jacob, here is Christian Dua that every Englander batsman would recite. And what is Christian Dua? The Christian Dua is Yeshua Hamesik Heker in Elohim Biladej Uvladi Kistamer Shikul Lircham Alinu. Well, it is the points of Almas. Okay. Now, New Zealand score is well in tomorrow's match. New Zealand score would be 200, probably 200 out of 20. Now and now, well, England, if England wants that, uh, they I take a rest. If England wants to achieve the target of 201 provided by New Zealand in 20 overs, then what is the points? Over is 20 overs. What is 20 overs? That is 120 ball. 120 ball multiplied by 200 is, well, 10 cube multiplied by 24. That is 24,000. Well, hence 201 multiplied by 120 is 24,120. That means, accordance with Almas Jacob, every England batsman of the England cricket team would recite the Christian Dua in 24,120 times to defeat New Zealand. What is the dua? The dua is Yeshua Hamesid Hekar in Elohim Biladej Uvladi Kistamar Shirkul Lircham Alinu. Without the Christian dua, England could not achieve the target of 201 runs in 20 overs provided by New Zealand. It is the points of Almas Jacob. But now we have to let's check what is my points. My point is crystally simple. And my point is beautiful. Now here we can see when the target is 200 in tomorrow's match between England versus New Zealand, the target of New Zealand, well, target of 201 runs provided by New Zealand would be to England. That means when England would contest the 201 runs as a target provided by New Zealand in 20 overs. Now here is the point that England has to contest 34 over boundary in 5 over 4 balls. Now it is the point is 5 over 4 balls. If England could not contest 34 over boundary in 5 over 4 balls, it is difficult for England to get victory against New Zealand in the tomorrow's match between England versus New Zealand. And that is the great opportunity as we can see the points. Okay. Now let's check the points. Well, it is our momentums, and every over boundary would contain the average over boundary length of 4,000 4,000 kilometers. Now here when we are talking about 4,000 kilometers, here we can say what is the momentums for 4,000 kilometers as a over boundary length. Velocity would be 6,262 meter per second. Kinetic energy of ball from Englander batsman would be, well, 3,216 kilojoules, and applied force for over boundary would be 352 million Newton. That is Michaela's predictions. Here we can see. If here we over boundary in I have to take this. If over boundary from England would not be with the length of 4 kilometers events, it would be difficult for England to defeat New Zealand in the tomorrow's match between England versus New Zealand. And here, that is the significant points. Okay. Well, and now we get a hope for Harry Brook, where our hope is crystally lost on Joe Butler. Okay, now here Joe Butler's average is 15.75. Here Harry Crook, the Genji captain, contains the average batting of 50 meters. Just wait and watch. Well, what is the points? It is 57. Okay. Today is my well. Now today is my iftar times. Hence, I would contain iftar with Bangladeshis and happy iftar days. Okay. Okay. Here my iftar is okay for that. And now I think I could not provide the more engagement about the points of Almas Jacob prediction about tomorrow's match between England versus New Zealand. Okay, here I would see you with the next live stream with the real result of the match between England versus New Zealand. Okay. Well, now here we can see that is the significant moments as we could notify. But in the videos of Alma Jacob says wise knowledge has increased, but understanding has decreased. Unlimited access of information can lead to reject gods that can weaken the ability of things and understand. But now problem is we are rejecting Almas Jacob's Christian God. And Englander Harry Crook reject the Christian God of Almas Jacob. But still, in Here we can see the points. Well, I think it is not okay for that. Uh, okay, now here is in 4 overs where George Butler, the pro-Christian, scored 15.73 runs as an average. Harry Crook score is 50.5 runs as average in 6 matches. And here, when we would see the tomorrow's match, and I would be back with the real results of the match between England versus New Zealand, where that is probable confirmed that New Zealand would be group champion of Super 8, Group 2, and where England would be group runners up. Well, see you then. Kodafes, love you. But I think I could not provide the more engagement of this live stream. I apologize.